Hello everybody, welcome to this week's question and answer video. Happy Monday. Hope everyone had a good weekend. If you didn't, I'm sorry. Let's have a better one next weekend. This is a Q&A video, question and answer. I'm answering your guys' questions from the last question and answer video last Monday. Please go down below into the comment section, ask me anything you want, and I'll answer it in the next video, next Monday. Let me know what you think of my answers, if you understand them, if I understand your question. If I don't, correct me. If I miss your question, please ask me again. That happens sometimes. Sometimes I just don't see it, or sometimes it disappears. So please ask me again. I want to get right into the questions, but I do recommend something every week to you guys. And this week, I'm going to recommend something that was something that Sally asked me about. Sally is a contributor to this channel. Very supportive. Thank you, Sally. Sally says, have you read Dr. Ramani's book? It's Not You. Curious if you have. I have not read it. I have not read it. Dr. Ramani, I stopped watching other people making videos about narcissists and stuff like that many years ago. I just can't watch them. Like, more than one reason, but I can stand Dr. Ramani. She's really good. Lots of knowledge. She's been helping people for a long time, and I've heard lots of good things about her with people who have had help from her. And let's see. So I'm going to recommend this book. Let me know, any of you who have read it. Let us know what you think. If you do read it, come back and tell us what you think. The book is called It's Not You, Identifying and Healing from Narcissistic People. And again, this is by Dr. Ramani Durvasula. Hope I'm not messing that up. She has a PhD. And from clinical psychologist and expert in narcissistic relationships, Dr. Ramani Durvasula, a guide to protecting and healing yourself from the daily harms of narcissism. I bet it's really good. You can get a free trial right now on audiobook. It's free trial. If you'd like to buy it, I think it's about $17. You got 16 on Kindle, $19.79 hardcover, $21.75 paperback. Again, anyone who's read it, please let me know what you think. I like her and I stand by her work and support it. I think she has a really good understanding of this stuff. So that is it. The link will be down below for Amazon. And let's get into the questions. Ro Rodriguez from California here. Hello. What a great, humble, patient, etc. way to answer to that extreme comment. I'm religious. To me, it's not about religion, but about a relationship. Boy, when I read that extreme comment, that creeped me out, and by all means is not of a normal person. Great job, David. You're a great human being. That's very nice. Thank you very, very much. Oh, you have more. Thank you for always answering my questions, which makes me understand a bit more. It makes me feel better. Thank you for helping so many people. You are totally welcome. Another question regarding the grieving process. I'm understanding the grieving process now for myself and my children since we just got into therapy, and of course, your awesome videos. How does my ex-fiance BPD grieve? Do they even grieve? Do they grieve like us or different since they just walk away and discard their family? And that, you know, that's a really, I think that's a common thought, concern, worry for many of you, I think. This is what I wrote to her, so I'll just read that first. Hello, and thank you very much for all the nice things you tell me. People with BPD have traumatic relationships. They feel traumatized by every relationship they have. They do not grieve in any kind of healthy manner. They don't look at themselves, and it may be very difficult for them to accept it's over. Due to cognitive dysfunction, they have distorted perception. They tend to obsess over the lost person and attempt to fill the void with someone new. I hope that answers your question. I won't say they don't grieve. There's a lot going on in the brain of someone with this disorder. Massive cognitive dysfunction, distorted perception, views of people. They lack object constancy. So once they don't see you, I don't know what they think of you anymore. Okay? The problem is they still attach, and that's what grieving is. It's detaching from someone and then the loss. And the biggest reason, I've said this many times, and maybe this will help. The biggest reason that we get situational depression from loss is because it's about how we view ourselves. So you take someone, that you're joined at the hip with and meshed with, borderline, right? And now they're gone. It's only you. And how you feel about yourself is typically how we react to loss. Okay? Borderlines don't look at themselves, do they? Right? They may be stuck in some stage of grief, of not accepting it in shock or anger. Okay? They don't really process this thing in any kind of healthy way. And this is why they may tend to obsess, they seek revenge, but most of all, they tend to replace you. And human beings can't be replaced. Objects can, but not human beings. So it doesn't work. And they may just start attaching to someone else. Their hormones go up and they start obsessing and idealizing on someone else. That does not take away losing you. And this is why they might hoover years later. I've heard of 10, 20, I've heard of over 30 years later of them coming back and hoovering and trying to get you back. Over 30 years, I've heard it. I've been doing this for many years, so I've heard of all kinds of stories. That's pretty extreme. Tell me that person's grieved. Yeah? See that? So it's hard to tell you that they don't or they do, especially all of them. They're all different. Okay? But it's definitely not in any kind of healthy way. All right? Thanks for your question. Let me know if you have more you want to ask me about it. Please do. Hi, David James from Queensland, Australia. Hi, James. Thank you for your reply, for your empathy, understanding, and compassion. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. I take on board everything you say. Over Easter, my ex had a meltdown. I had the kids. I returned them on Sunday, and she emailed me saying, the kids may lose their mom. I need your help. I went to her house to make sure all was good. May not be a good idea. I would just call the police first. What followed was disturbing. Tales of binge drinking, violence, drunk driving with the kids in the car, threats of suicide, police involvement. I recorded the whole interaction. I left, went home and called the police to check on her welfare. I am now the enemy. I was the love of her life and the person 2 days ago. I'm worried she may do something drastic. What next for me and the kids? Guidance would be appreciated. I kind of don't understand. I thought you guys aren't together and she has a kids. And you has. How are you the love of her life and her person 2 days ago? Or is she just still splitting and still idealizing, devaluing you, even though you're not together anymore? I kind of don't understand that. But, kids should be in therapy. You should be in therapy. I hope you are. To heal from this, to learn more about ourselves, to have support and help navigating through these things. Contact your lawyer. If that's Australia, I think, has lawyers. Can't remember. Sorry if they don't. A solicitor or something like that. Do you guys have an agreement, a divorce agreement, a custody agreement? She might be going outside of this, and that's legal advice I can't give you. So contact somebody to help you understand your rights, the children's rights, what she's doing. I know from experience in most countries that any kind of child services division, courts, they don't want to remove kids from parents. I mean, I've heard of some of the most extreme things you can imagine, and they still don't remove the kids. For some reason, these kids have to have a mother and father, no matter how toxic they are. I guess, what do you... that's a whole nother thing. You've got to protect yourself, and you have to be healthy. That's the best thing for you and for your children. I wouldn't communicate with her any longer at all, unless it's about the children, and I would do it in text messages, emails, or better, a app. There's apps for this stuff. You don't need to be talking about anything else except the children and the welfare of the children, and it should all be documented. And I would document this event, time, date and time, stamp it, what happened, most important, how does it feel? How does it affect my children? I asked my children, they said this. That's why therapy can be good too. The therapist is sitting there saying, the mom's traumatizing the children. This is a very difficult situation. There's usually not just an instant, we just do this, because it's a mess. It's a mess. We're talking about children's lives here, and they need parents. They need mom and dad. And I'm not, someone like this should not only not have children, shouldn't be around children. Just my opinion. And that's a sad thing. Okay? But we don't make children endure this and put their emotional and physical lives at risk like this. So I feel for you. I'm really sorry. Get better, heal, grieve, do what you have to do, but have some support. Have the children in therapy so they can talk to someone else. let the children know what's wrong with mom and help them navigate that relationship they have with her. But most of this is legal. I can't answer that. I would highly recommend to find out what's going on here. I would get copies of the police reports too. Yeah. Awful situation. I can only imagine it getting worse. I don't know how it would just get better. But you and her need to separate. Okay? I'm really sorry, James. We be really careful who we allow into our life, who we commit to, who we make plans with, who we get married to, who we live with, and who we have children with. You had to learn the hard way. No matter what, know that everybody can heal from this stuff, including your children. Okay? Whatever damage is caused from this, they can heal from it later if they can't now. But I would do everything you can to get them into therapy so they can talk to somebody, a child psychologist. Okay? And yourself. Be the healthiest dad you can be for them. That's the best. Okay? Sorry, I can't give you more advice. But a lot of this is just legal advice, and I can't give legal advice. But take care of yourself and then your children. Yvonne, don't know where you're from. Let us know where you're from. Let us know where you guys' locations are, please. Thanks. Giving the benefit of the doubt. The mantra for my parents to excuse their narcissistic behavior. A mantra I had to grow up with. The excuse, give them the benefit of the doubt. Found that quite triggering. Yeah, you don't have to. We don't have to give people the benefit of the doubt. I'm for second chances, but that's up to the individual if they want to or not. Someone betrays you, you don't have to give them a second chance. If someone mistreats you, there's no doubt, is there? If I mistreat you, what's the doubt? That I didn't mean to? Too bad. That you made me? Too bad. I didn't know what else to do? Too bad. I was drunk? Too bad. I don't care what reasons people have to hurt other people. That's their reasons. Great. That means they'll do it again, given the reason. Or maybe they have another reason to keep doing it. Or maybe they have 10 more reasons why it's okay to hurt someone else. It's not. It's not. And I don't need to give someone the benefit of the doubt. Now, as I'm navigating the world and I come across new people in my life, and I'm not quite sure what they did or why, I mean, that's just up to you, Yvonne. But we don't tell people what to do. That's something maybe they lived by themselves, or it's something they forced you to live by. Like you said, to excuse their own narcissistic behavior. No. Best thing to do is talk to someone else about it. Someone you can trust. Okay? I've had pretty toxic parents give me some pretty toxic advice. I shared one of them in the very last video I made Saturday, I believe. And it was my father telling me, anybody wants to give you something, always take it and say thank you. It's like at 5. So stranger offered me candy. Thank you. I'll take it. Yeah, I'll climb in that van with you. I mean, you wonder, don't you, what the intent is of some parents and their horrible advice. You wonder, is that really what you think, or are you just making me more malleable for you? Things like don't argue, don't ask why, just do. Stuff like that. Jeez. Raising a robot. Hey, David in Canada. Hi, David. Now I wonder if I said it right. You taught me. I don't know if it's Canada or Canada. Canada. It wouldn't be Canada. It wouldn't be Canada. 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 As always, great video. Thank you. Way to stay calm and compassionate with the person that was attacking you. I'm sure that it is not what she wanted, but in my humble opinion was the correct way to answer. Thank you. Life is going well in my world. The past guidance from you, much healing done by me. I am now 90 days alcohol free, was never a heavy drinker, but a frequent drinker. No meetings, no gimmicks, just I think in much healthier mindset and no longer wanting to hide from my life. That's what it takes. The meetings, the gimmicks, all of it don't matter if you don't want to quit. And once you want to quit, there's nothing that can stop you and hold you back, yeah? You just think in a healthier mindset and no longer wanting to hide from my life. Positivity. That's it. Being our own parent. Thanks for pointing me to the door and allowing me to choose if I went through it or not. Thank you, David, very much. Good luck on your journey. Congratulations for your 90 days. That's awesome. Bronson from Wisconsin. I think I have the right Bronson, right? From Wisconsin. Show's still amazing. Keep up the good job, David. BPDX girlfriend. Haven't seen her in 4 years or talked to her in a year. She always comes back like she never did anything wrong and still blames me. Why does she come back just to be a mean person? Because she's not grieving. Like the first question I had. Yeah, do you see that? Emotions will stay open forever until you express, process, and close them. Anger. Very common for very, very angry older men. They've been angry their whole lives. They're angry about something that happened 40 years ago because they didn't know how to express it and they held it in. And they didn't blow up. It's still there. Got to close it. Okay? How much more emotions can you think of that are involved in loss? Our worst experience in life. Lots of emotions, yeah? From dread to depression to anxiety, confusion. All these things are open and she won't process them. They're still there. Do you see that? That can last for decades. I've seen it. You've seen it. You ever seen somebody lose someone very significant, like a child, and never come back from it? Never. I've seen women get divorced in their 20s and never date again. Sad. Why does she come back just to be a mean person? Because she hates herself. That's why. Because she's miserable. And she doesn't know how to process this. And people that don't process this, some of them hurt other people. Helps them, they think, feel better inside. But it won't, because unless you value being a total piece of crap, that if you have any morals you value, you just feel guilty and ashamed of hurting people. But they can't understand that. They don't have the conscience for that, the awareness. They lack it majorly. She's not aware of what she's doing. She's not in control of her behaviors. She's not aware of how bad she makes you feel and other people. Not aware of it, not excusing it, not aware of it. If I absolutely hate every single thing about myself, well, I want to stare at myself in a mirror? No. When somebody else points something out about me, about who I am, do I want to accept that? No, I hate myself. That's not true. Screw you. You're a bad person. It's all your fault. I feel bad. It's your fault. And it's your responsibility to make me feel better. Huh? Yeah. I'm telling you. I'm telling you how bad I feel. Make me feel better. That's someone that can't make themselves feel better. Someone that can't process grief. Someone that can't look at themselves first. Because that's where it starts, doesn't it? Introspection. Of all the stages of grief, let's put that right in first. Right in front. Introspect. Nope, not going to do it? Okay. Just going to blame other people, lash out, and hurt others? Good luck with living with yourself. Yeah. Don't let her have access to your life, Bronson. Shut everything off and tell her she's not allowed to hurt you anymore. Maybe promise to yourself that she's not allowed to hurt you ever again. And what can you do about that? Can't control her, but there might be some things you might be able to do, Bronson. Good to see you again. Thank you. William from Alberta, Canada. Hi, William. I appreciate your answer to my question, David. It's very helpful and encouraging. I have a long road of healing ahead still, but I'm not going to give up. I know I can learn to love myself again and rediscover my purpose and value. I hope to find a happier and healthier relationship in the future, but I know I need to work on myself more first. Beautiful. I think the biggest struggle I've been having in the healing process is trying to move forward without receiving any real closure. What tips do you have for finding your own closure and letting go of things you have control over? Closure is the truth. It's something I help my clients arrive at, seek, find, by telling me things about the person you're in a relationship with. I might be able to help explain some of their behaviors, what they're really going through. We might be able to find the truth. If you can't, then you give closure to yourself. I recommend to my clients a lot to write a letter to them. Get everything out you want to say. Whatever you want to say to this person, get it out. Don't hold back. Don't worry about who's going to see it or read it. If you have some nasty thoughts and some nasty feelings, Get them out. No matter how gross and bad and toxic they sound and look, get them out on the paper instead of here and here. Let's put it on paper. Read it out loud to yourself. Read it out loud to someone that you can trust. Okay? Support. I even recommend sometimes putting a picture of them on there. Afterwards, we can destroy it all. You can then decide if you want to send some type of letter to them. But this is for you, the truth. Get it all out. Have somebody help you. It's the best recommendation I have, okay? Friends and family can be there to vent, tell them some things. They may not be able to help you necessarily with that very much, okay? Thanks, William. Good luck. Keep going. Jennifer from the Midwest. Hello, Jennifer. Thank you for the video. I learned some more stuff that is helping me figure out life minus a narcissist. Thank you. That's not easy, though. My question is about distracting thoughts that tend to sideswipe me as I'm on a path to better myself. I need to stop doing that, but are there any tips to help us when we're in that cloud of reliving the past? Thank you, David. Thank you, Jennifer. If you were to watch more of my Q&As, you'd see me address this a lot. I even have videos in the Healing CPTSD playlist. Okay, but it's my opinion that we need to attack these thoughts and we need to open them up and find out what they are and find out the truth, the facts. This thing isn't very factual, is it? Okay. When we have trauma, our brains most likely don't understand it. And we need to understand. We need to make sense of it here. We need to express our emotions. We need to get our thoughts out and make sense of it. If we don't, our brain tends to stay obsessed with that and wants to know. And this is where somebody else who understands this stuff can help you greatly. Okay? I take my clients and we list all these negative thoughts and we find out what is fact and what isn't. Okay? We take these thoughts and we put them in a folder and we name the folder and we don't open the folder up anymore. And once we know what these thoughts are and what the truth is, and they don't serve us anymore, and we don't want them anymore, then we put them in the folder, we label it, and we call it by name, and don't open it again and try to distract ourselves. That process of understanding and what makes sense hopefully is enough to stop having the thoughts. Okay? If I think the sky is blue and the green in the grass, or if I think the sky is green and the grass is blue, that's what my thoughts are telling me, and I have somebody else sit there and process these thoughts with me, and we say, look, the sky is actually blue and the grass is green, how much more can you think the other way? Yeah. We have distorted views of people in this relationship. They have some of us, and we have some of them, right? We think our abuser who ruined our life is still a great, sweet, cute, nice, soft, caring person. And the person who abused us and tried to ruin our life, and we just took it and we're still nice to them, thinks that we're horrible, evil people. Right? It just doesn't make sense. Let's make sense of this stuff. Do it with someone else. Best thing you could do. But writing will help. Writing's just to get things out of our head on paper are easier to process and understand. Talking and getting our emotions out and writing our emotions out, reading them and hearing them, forms of expression. We tend to understand everything a lot better that way. Okay? Thank you, Jennifer. And Rose from the United Kingdom. Hello, Rose. I've never understood the trust your feelings, not your head thing. Hopefully this isn't going to sound silly. I'm sure, no, it doesn't. I'm sure some years ago it was the opposite. I listen to my feelings. Your mind tells you what to do about these feelings. Yes, your mind does, but not your brain. Our brain's an organ. Our mind makes up our thoughts, our feelings, our perceptions, all of it. Okay? We think logically, straightforward. And then emotions and the peripheral thoughts. But emotions are who you are. Okay? We can never neglect our emotions, reject them, shove them down. That's how we get in trouble. Our feelings will help navigate our lives. I think it might help, Rose, if you haven't already watched the last video I made Saturday, a couple days ago. I talk about this. I think it should help. Thank you, Rose. Oh, Rose has another question. Was it possible for him to be honest in his condition, so honest it goes against the very disorder itself. He told me it's a mask I wear, and I've worn it for so long now. I don't know where I start, that finishes. I don't know what's under it. Don't scratch the scab, but I have to put it on, and I get tired, then angry. It's easier to argue about a little thing than the thing over there. Then I feel guilty. I've caused so much hurt, ruined lives that I shouldn't have. It's always there in the back of my mind. Sometimes it comes forward. Yeah. I think moments of clarity, not just honesty, but clarity, being able to see ourselves. Yeah. Um, which is a common, I mean, it's the most common thing about 10 personality disorders. Lacking self-awareness, to acknowledge that it's me, I'm the problem, not everybody else. That's the biggest about personality disorders. It doesn't mean they don't have these moments of clarity and tell you and be honest and vulnerable. Okay? What I find interesting is after this, they usually tend to run or start a fight, ignore you, stuff like this. They felt vulnerable. They don't like it. But the narcissist has rejected their true, authentic self since childhood. They've been taught how to do this or forced how to do this from their parents. And the narcissist rejects bad experiences they had in childhood and tries to paint a picture of it was great. This starts their false identity. They don't want to go there. They made a promise to the universe, no one will ever hurt me again. And they don't fully commit to relationships, lie and cheat, have other people in their life leave you in a heartbeat if they need to, so they don't get hurt. They don't want to be vulnerable and tell you and show you who they are. And he let you know that he does this. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Yep, they can be honest, they can have clarity, they can even have some awareness of themselves. Definitely. It shows you how secretive he is. Secrets won't allow for connection. No commitment. Things like this. Okay? Let's see. Victoria from the Bay Area. Hi, Victoria. I have a question. My ex-narcissist ended up in a hospital with a stroke. His sister asked if I could speak to him. I was watching him pulling out the tubes out of his nose, getting his sister extremely upset. I understand the tubes are uncomfortable, but the pain that he was causing his sister was hard to watch. Can toxic people be even worse when they're sick? Yeah. People will be worse versions of themselves, a lot of them, when they're sick. Okay, and you add mental illness. Yeah. Old people. We know that caretaking for seniors is not fun. If you don't know that, you can look it up, Victoria and anybody else. It's not good. I've done it. You take care of like a dementia patient, and they say don't do it for more than, what do they say, 3 or 4 months. You could have severe depression and be suicidal. Now imagine family. Makes it even worse, even harder. I don't think families should be taking care of people like that. It's just too much. But yeah, very often they'll be worse. Go to a senior home. They'll show you who the really bad ones are. Yeah, those might be aging narcissistic people, but they may not be. They may just act like that now. You take away someone's identity, you don't let them work, they can't be mobile, move around, they're sick, they're dying, they have diagnosis and treatment and medications and all this stuff, man. It's just not good. And I can't imagine anyone being the best version of themselves under those conditions. Monica, I'm sorry I can't remember where you're from. You've commented so many times. I can't remember your locations. Let us know, please. Thanks. Hello, David. I haven't heard from him at all. He like totally disappeared. Do they sometimes randomly disappear? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. People typically randomly disappear because they don't want the stress, the drama, the responsibility. And someone toxic may just be putting you on a shelf to come back later. So instead of worrying about why he left or how he left, I'd worry about him coming back. Be prepared. What do you want? Follow through with that. Okay, Monica, thank you. And Mr. Brickaloo. Let us know where you are next time, please. Thanks. Any advice for a stepfather who has just had his close daughter move out? It happened after an episode that led to her hospitalization and possible BPD diagnosis. We have 2 other children. We were also very close with her. Who were very close with her. It has been difficult to navigate and continue to provide stability as we transition. The daughter is now an adult, and the parallel parenting tips are helpful. Do you have any input that might be helpful? I'm really sorry. Sad. But now that she's an adult, we have to be different parents, okay? When a child transitions from childhood to adulthood, things change. So I'll just tell you right now, she's not going to get better and get the help she needs until she does it. And I stand, I know that nobody else, I know that not everybody else stands with me on this. That we can go find help for them and take them for help and pay for their help. I've never seen that work. And I haven't seen it work with other people, not just BPD, my clients. Somebody else pays for them, sets the appointment, finds me and all that. Never works. Usually never works, especially with this. For someone to change who they are like this might be the biggest change someone can ever make, right? Changing who I am. And nobody else can do that for them. Support, yes, but what's very important is that you and your family protect yourselves. Explain to the siblings if they need explanations of why their sister's like this. Do it with love and care and compassion and help them navigate. But what's really important is that you have boundaries, okay? And if you want her to be in your life, you have terms. What are they? How does it feel? Where do you want her emotionally in your life? How close, how far away? We cannot fix, we cannot change, we cannot control people. That's up to them. How much are you willing to accept, not accept? What are your limits? And what are the terms of a relationship if you're going to have her back in your life? And I promise the best thing you can do and the only thing you can do is stick to those things. That's it. So if she wants to go get help, great. Honey, I support you. Doesn't mean she's all better. Could take many years to get better. And even the most extensive talk therapy programs like DBT, CBT. But if you want her back in your life, you better have those terms written down and you better tell her and she better agree or she's not allowed back in your life. Because how hard could it be? How hard could your terms be? I bet you have not really any right now. And she might be able to come in and out of your life as she pleases, and that won't help her or you or anyone. She's young now, so it sounds like. Now's the time to get help. She waits too long, it's too late. And unfortunately, you can't do that for her, okay? Now, if she says, I'm serious and I want help and I want to change more than anything, you can steer her in directions. If you want to pay for it, oh man. Tough. But she's an adult now. And all you have control over is you, yourself. Okay? So communicate with her what your boundaries are. And you better tell her what your terms are. And she has to agree to be in your life. Okay? You're not allowed to abuse me. You're not allowed to come in and out of my life. You're not allowed to come in and out of this house as you please. You have to be healthier. You have to be seeking help. Something. Okay? These aren't rules. It's just terms to enter my life. Every relationship must have terms. You have to tell the other person, they have to agree. Right? Or it just can't continue. And I'd really stick to it with this. I'm really sorry about your loss. I'm sure that you love and care for your stepdaughter. I said that's really sad. Everyone must have really strong boundaries. Know exactly what your terms will be to have her in your life. Offer support, but don't try to fix her or change her or get her all the help she needs. She must do this for herself. Explaining to the rest of the family. And, when not making it easy for her to have toxic behaviors, not making it easier for her to come in and out of your life as she pleases, this will only help her. It'll only help push her to get the help she needs. But being there and codependent and taking care of her and helping her and paying for stuff, that makes it easier for her to never get help. Just remember that, okay? There's a fine line that we cross between help and enabling. Okay? Very important. And I'd start questioning why she has this disorder. Where did this come from? How did it start? And I've got one more question that was on another video, but I told Alec here from Melbourne, Australia, that I would answer it in the Q&A. So I hope that you're watching, Alec. I love your work and I'm a big fan of yours. Thank you. I have a topic suggestion for you. I know the cluster B personality disorders are often the abusive, manipulation, and lacking in empathy types. Would love to learn about the other two clusters, A and C. Do cluster A and C personality disorders wreak havoc in interpersonal relationships too? Yeah. Are cluster A and C folks abusive, manipulative, exploitative, and lacking in empathy too? Can be. Yeah. I hear so much about cluster B in the narcissistic abuse recovery forums and literature, yet find very little info about A and C. The DSM-5, although a valuable tool, does not go into detail about how these disorders play out in relationships. Many thanks, Alex. No, they don't. No, they don't. Psychology and psychiatry and the DSM are for the patient, not for anybody else around them. And this is a big reason why many therapists, do not understand you and what you've gone through. They think these people are so rare. You probably just think that they have a personality disorder, but they don't really. And they don't understand the damage that it causes. And therefore, they don't know how to help you. Believe me, I hear it more often than not, okay? I've had bad personal experiences which have been shared with hundreds of people and clients that I've heard from. Formal education, that's all they have, okay? And a lot of them have had personal experiences they haven't even healed from. So they know about this stuff, they haven't even healed from it, so they don't understand it or how to help you. 10 personality disorders, 3 clusters, A, B, and C. Obviously narcissistic, histrionic, antisocial, and borderline are in the cluster B. The reason we hear about this more is this type of personality falls into high conflict personality types. So lots of conflict. They all lack awareness and they all have overlapping traits. You might just be, narcissism. We're all narcissistic. On a scale, we're in the middle. Not even low. We're in the middle. So everyone's narcissistic. Only a few aren't and a few have the disorder. But as you cross the line into personality disorder, you have to be a little more narcissistic than the rest of us. A lot of you guys think that a partner of yours was borderline and they might be schizotypal in the cluster A. Many overlapping traits, but the core of it is that the people with those 4 in that cluster B are considered high conflict personality type, not the other ones. So that's a major issue right there. Also, the cluster B is very, very much detailed with emotions, whether it's lacking emotions in the antisocial, or I can't regulate my emotions, or a narcissist holds them all in, stuff like this. Very tied to emotions, where the rest are a little bit more significant in different areas of our life. Okay? That's why. And you get into all 4 in the cluster B, become more Machiavellianist. They become more of the dark triad. But it does not mean that anyone else in the other 6, 3 and 3, aren't abusive, that they don't cause people trauma. It doesn't mean that they don't do bad and evil things, okay? It's just more significant in those 4. That's all, okay? It's not black and white. And that's it, guys. That's all the questions. Thank you very, very much. Please keep asking me questions. Let me know what you think of my answers so that I understand, or that I know that I get your question. If it's something you don't understand, just tell me, okay? And keep asking me the same questions about the same experience to understand more if you need to. Let me know what you think of the book, Dr. Ramani's book. And most of all, guys, love yourself first, okay? Have a beautiful week. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.